Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. This is Gwyneth. This is a forecast that runs from April 1st to the 15th. Yes, I had to check the dates. I couldn't believe it. We were on the 1st already. Yep, we're at April 1st. Can you believe it? Now, let's get clear on what I'm going to be talking about today. We're headed into vibrant, dynamic, sometimes argumentative waters. Can waters be argumentative? I'm not really sure. For those of you who are really astrologically savvy, many of our planets have moved into fiery, leadership-oriented Aries. Kind of my way or the highway. Not to put too fine a point on it, but most of my astrology friends are just waiting for the next shoe to drop. Yes, we've had squabbles in the world. We've had bombs dropping in some parts of the world. But this is a period of time where there is an energy of ferociousness, like a lion coming out of its den after a very long period of solitude. We have brilliant people surrounding us. If you're in the United States and listening to my report, you know that's the case. In fact, many of you have been wondering where all those brilliant people have gone to. Same thing, it doesn't matter where you are in the world. Brilliant minds, logical minds exist. And right now, it seems that we're in the midst of a chaotic fun ride at your local amusement park. And some of it's not so funny. So quickly, as a review of this forecast, and then I will jump into the signs. We have a full moon in Libra on the 1st. That's today. I deliberately held off this video because I wanted you to have the information right as it comes out. Just as we're living it and in this moment of time. The Libra full moon will impact you wherever it sits in your chart. Obviously, Librans and all the air signs will be mightily impacted by this full moon. And this full moon simultaneously is in the sign, it's in Libra at 12 degrees, squaring Jupiter in Cancer. So there is, I always use the word push-pull when I talk about squares, but there's this energy of, something's not quite right, and it's showing up in a really big way because it's affecting Jupiter. Jupiter is loud and boisterous, and if you're lucky, it allows you to expand and become a bigger person. If you're experiencing a square, it's almost like a war of wills. Now, why this full moon impacts people so massively, not passively, is that we have one, as I count them right now, at this juncture or junction, we have by the 15th, which is when this forecast will end, and then I'll have another one going up behind it. But on the 15th, we'll have the sun Mercury, Mars, Saturn, and Chiron in the sign of Aries. Aries is opposite Libra. Aries is opposite this full moon. There's definitely a desire within the world around us to make some change. And there is a total frustration at this point with the way everybody looks at the political arena. There's a total frustration for many people in their lives with their work and their career, their work and their relationships and the cost of living. And I mean, so many areas have been impacted. But this Aries energy is like putting two prize fighters in the ring and saying, okay, kids, go at it. So my forecast for this period is to, and I will do that as I talk about the various signs. But one of the most poignant energies of this particular cycle from the 1st to the 15th will be, as we deal with this full moon in Libra, which will resonate for at least a few days at least. But with Mars moving into Aries, Mars the planet of action, and Aries the fiery, loquacious energy and leadership energy that's so important for so many positions in the world. Mars moving into that sign will say, okay, Aries, let's see what you've got. And I think that at that point, it's my prediction, and I don't like to make predictions. Actually, my astrology really focuses on what people can do to enhance their abilities and talents. I'm really more interested in what you're here for, what your purpose is, what your gifts to the world can be. But with this particular transit, the Mars entering Aries, it's going to be a real dynamic period of time. Even Mars sextiling a day later, the sign of Pluto will bring some desire for at least loud discussions to take place. So as you listen to your various forecasts, I will talk about how this full moon, and a full moon means a completion, an ending to a particular cycle. It talks about, finishing up something and getting it settled. And Libra being all about balance and harmony will bring this feeling of we've got to find a way to create some kind of harmonious accord here, or we're all going to be doing terrible things to each other. Along with that full moon, as I mentioned before, we have the moon square to Jupiter. It's happening today. People probably are feeling it. It's as if the situation has definitely, whatever that situation is in your personal life as well, is either blowing up or blowing out of proportion. I think it's critical that we understand the difference. Sometimes our emotions run hot. We need to know when that's occurring. The other thing is when Venus squares Pluto on the 3rd, we have this, Venus is still in Taurus, or has just gone into Taurus, and squaring Pluto and Aquarius. Now, whether you understand all the jargon here, all the signs and the squares and the sextiles and all of the various aspects, what I can tell you about a Venus square Pluto is that there is a flashpoint between people wanting to feel good and the necessity to take powerful action or to deal with a troubling situation. Nobody wants to deal. I mean, as a society, we like to take, most people, I would think that's most of us, like to take the easy path, That's why we hire people to do our yards or fix our stoves or, sand the floor or, what, even the poorest of us are looking for ways to make life a little bit easier. And on Friday the 3rd, that's not the case. We're going to have to roll up our sleeves and basically put our money where our mouths are. So I think up until, and this is just a prognostication, up until the 15th, we see a continual buildup toward and about situations in our lives that just don't feel tenable anymore. Things do not work. Things are not making sense. And we really, really are looking for clarity and some kind of harmony and also decision making so that we can move forward on things that matter more to us. I'm a creative. I'm constantly digging out things that will enliven me. I love beauty and music and the arts. But there are times when you just have to find our grit and, inform people around us that this is a time where we take things seriously and we have to be very cool, calm, and collected. But at the same time, we have to stand up for those people who need our help. And I think that's another aspect of this period of time. We have Mars conjuncting Neptune on the 13th. So Mars in Aries conjuncting Neptune in Aries. Mars is an energy magnet, and Neptune deals with intuition and spirituality. And these two come together to say, let's use our feelings, our emotions, our intuition to bring about some kind of positive change, forward motion, and even a way of putting a Band-Aid, even temporarily, on some situations that don't seem very healthy. And like I keep trying to hint at, this happens in all arenas at this point in time. You could be working at an auto body place or in a hospital, and you'll see this played out. That there is a tendency right now on the part of various players within your organizations to want to get fired up and take things to the extreme. And you have to keep reminding yourself of why you're there. And this goes back to what I started talking about in the beginning. I'm really always looking to help people find the reason for this incarnation, to find the reason that gives you meaning and purpose. Well, I always said that to my children. What really lights your fire? What do you care about? What do you really want to dig into? And I think that helps a lot, particularly when you're, steering your teenagers toward action. But I don't want to go off on a tangent about that. But I do want to say, this is the period we're in. We have a lot of Aries planets all being activated, and many of them being lit up this week and into next week. Next week is even more, how do I put this? Next week is even more fiery and filled with all kinds of commentary and, you know, things that people are disturbed by. And you, dear listener, have to find where you fit into all of that and how you can help, I believe anyway. My Taurus moon says stabilize. I keep hearing that word over and over again in my head. How do you bring that to your home, to your community, and to the people that you spend a lot of time around? So that's my review of this week. If you have a Libra moon, you will be feeling the emotional ups and downs that are being brought on by the energy of all of the Aries that is opposite your moon. Same thing with rising sign or sun sign in Libra. The Librans will be feeling that, or vice versa. If you're in Aries, this full moon in Libra will trigger it. So for you folks, that's a big deal. And then any of the other planets that are experiencing a square to their various moon, sun, or rising could be affected by this also, especially the water signs and the earth signs. So, you know, I always say, live and let live, but maybe this week we need to live and laugh and, you know, help those people less fortunate. I've noticed an uptick in people donating to food banks and such places. We got together, my family and I, this year and donated to various shelters in and around our communities. Instead of giving gifts, we gave goods to various programs that would help out various populations of people, particularly those serving women and children. So I think that's, you know, another way to feel like you are involved and supporting the community around you, because there are needy people out there, and when you give, you feel better. At least that's what I think. Okay. My lips are chapped. It's April. I don't know why they're chapped. It's not the middle of winter, but boy, am I having problems with my I feel like everything dries out, and I'm needing a lot of water right now too. So if any of you are experiencing that, that's just always so much fun. But anyhow, I will be back here giving another review next week. But in the meantime, let's go look at some of the other things that are happening in the sun signs. I'll start out with the fire sign people, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, and then move, you know, I like to move through the elements. So it'll be fire. I think I'll do fire and air, and then earth, and then water. We'll move it around like that today. And then I'll pull some cards on each sign. If you have questions of me, or you would like to get, in touch to find out more about what I know about the situation around us, or if you'd like to have me take a look at your chart and do some cards, I can do that also. I can be found at Cottage Tarot, TAROT.com. And also, listen, we're all in this together. Please don't feel hesitant about just saying hi. I'd love to hear what you think of what I'm doing. And also, the other thing I wanted to say before I jump off here, when I talk about various houses, or I talk about your sun sign, I'm talking to a lot of people. you may have an intercepted house. You may have, which means you may have, your house might be halfway through Libra and Scorpio or something like that. The houses in an astrological chart all have several different meanings. Sometimes, like the 6th house is about work, but it's also about your well-being. I think that comes out of the old way of thinking that when you worked, you used your body. And if your body was healthy, you would be able to work. Things have changed a lot now. We are in a, technology-filled world where you could basically sit and not have to move at all. But, when we talk about the 6th house being your health, it is also connected into your ability to move your body around in time and space. So don't think that I'm not considering you when I do a reading. I'm trying to be inclusive and I'm trying to cover all the bases, but sometimes time precludes that. So if you have questions about it, drop me a line and I'd love to hear from you. Also, like, share, and subscribe. It makes a world of difference. And then look at my short review that I put on my website and all of the good things that come with that. And then you can read about me. I mean, I do have a lot of Leo in my chart. I like it when people read about me. But anyway, I digress. Take care. And now we'll move on to Aries. Aries, how are you? Okay, this forecast is for the period of April 1st to the 15th. Now I will post up after that, usually within a couple days, sometimes even as soon as the next day, so just keep looking for me. Aries, let me tell you, this is all about you. Every planet, well, I shouldn't say things like that because then people really believe me. Many of the planets have moved into the sign of Aries. That we work with 10 more or less. We do include the moon when it's in your sign, but the planets are all swirling around you because I'm reading this as a rising sign Aries. So right now as we speak, up until when we reach the 15th, as far as I understand, 6 planets will be in the sign of Aries. They will be in your 1st house and in your 7th house of long-term relationships. They will be pinging against that. I talked to somebody the other day who's an Aries. I said to them, your partnerships are going to take full central command at this time. You will be dealing with partners of all kinds, made even more powerful by the fact that there is a full moon of endings and completions. This doesn't have to be horrible, so don't go panic. But on the 1st, we have the full moon in Libra in your 7th house, which is long-term business and love partnerships. And to make it even more fun, the full moon in Libra is square to Jupiter in Cancer, which will be like combustive and I would say argumentative and possibly a tad bit emotionally over the top. So just to say, I need you to hear me. If this particular set of transits is affecting anybody, it's really affecting you Aries folk, particularly with this full moon that will be running through your chart for the next, at least for the next 4 or 5 days, and it may be longer energetically. Mars in Pisces will sextile Uranus in Taurus. And you're saying to yourself, what the heck does that mean? Well, Mars, the planet of action in the sign of Pisces, will be dealing with some of your inner concerns, your spiritual ideas, your desire to express your inner longing. And it will be positively pinging against Taurus, Uranus and Taurus. And that will be in your financial house. So one of the questions you might be trying to answer right now is, can I afford to do X, Y, or Z? Can I leave the job I've been doing for 25 years and start my own company? It could be that, it could be a million other things. So keep that in mind. On the 9th, Mars moves into Aries. So everything and anything about you is about taking action, because Mars is the just do it planet. Think Nike, think the sneakers. On the 13th, Mars, again, in your first house, will join forces with Neptune in Aries. And the two of them will be using their energies to help you make some decisions. With Mars pushing the envelope and Neptune dealing with intuition and feelings and spiritual goals, you may find that you have the energy to move on something that you've been feeling for a long time. I mean, you know, some people decided that they were going to move across the country, and they used it, they just based it all on intuition. They felt like they needed to take a break and move away, or take a long journey somewhere. Other people I've met recently have been feeling like it's time to take their creative work to the next level. But whatever it is, this Marsian energy is all about making tracks and getting going. And it's usually moving on something that they've had stored up their sleeve, that is something that they've been using their intuition to develop. So it could be starting a spiritual channel, or doing tarot readings or something like that. And then lastly, on Wednesday the 15th, Mercury, which is all about communication and ideas, moves into the sign of Aries. So not only are you feeling a lot and experiencing a lot through relationships and all the other things, but you have this powerful need to have your voice heard. And people will be coming to you to hear what you have to say. They might be wanting to read what you're putting out, or, you know, you may decide that you want to start a podcast, or, you know, take up the podium in some way. Or it could be subtle. You may be tired of taking the back seat to everybody. So, Aries, a very dynamic week. There is no way to get around it. It's a very powerful, no nonsense, take no prisoners energy, and you're at the center. You're at the center of everything. Many people will be looking to you for advice, possibly guidance, and even leadership. So let's take a look at the Oracle card and see what it wants to share with you at this point. Positive changes. I like that. I'm using my new mushroom, my magical mushroom deck. Who made this? It is a deck created by a person by the name of Sarah Richard. Sarah, if you're out there listening, this is really cool. This is a mushroom behind me that I painted. Six of Cups. So this is an emotional period of time. It's a positive period of time. You're coming out on top. I like it. Queen of Wands. It's a period of taking action in a very, Aryan way. Aries, Sag, Leo. Very lucky, the sun. The golden oyster mushroom, beautiful. Ace of Pentacles, there's potential here for a new project or a new job to appear. A new way of making money. And the Nine of Cups means that it will be very pleasant and extremely lucrative. But emotionally satisfying. I'm going to take one more card. I want to see something saying I should. Seven of Wands. Hey, you've got your ducks in a row. You've been getting organized for this for a long time. You are no layabout. So Aries, I want you to have a great week. Stay grounded. Find peaceful ways to relax. And until then, take care. Leo, oh boy, we have moved into a very dynamic week. So much is happening, and so much is happening in your fellow fire sign. But let's start out with what's going on with the moon. There is a full moon in Libra, and the full moon in Libra for you, Leo, falls in the area of where everything happens for you a lot of the time, Leo, is that it's all about communication, spreading your ideas into the world, whether it's through writing, speaking, or acting. So this is a perfect moon for you. There is a fly in the ointment, though, because there is a full moon square to Jupiter. So the full moon at 12 degrees is squared to Jupiter at 12 degrees. But Jupiter is in Cancer, and the full moon is at Libra. So where you will be feeling it is that you might be called in to do some acting or some writing or some sharing of your ideas, but because it's affecting your 12th house, it may not be what you were hoping to get pulled into. You may have other plans. Maybe you want to have a peaceful couple weeks to yourself. The 12th house is about solitude and contemplation and spiritual insight. It's also about your past life. So there may be an element to something that you're being asked to participate in right now that doesn't fit well with your karmic leanings or what you learned in another lifetime. So keep that in mind. On Wednesday the 8th, Mars will be gladly linking hands with Uranus in Taurus. Mars will still be in Pisces. And for you, Leo, it's a connection between your 7th house of partnership and your 8th house of transition. So maybe your partner, and this could be business or otherwise, has presented you with a plan that you're kind of liking. It could mean moving. It could be moving in together. Many aspects could play out here. On Thursday the 9th, Mars, the Just Do It planet, moves into the sign of Aries. That's in the area of your chart, which is all about travel and learning. What are you excited about doing? because Aries is going to light that up. Another really power-packed day is on Monday the 13th, when Mars, which is now in Aries, in your 9th of travel and learning and exploration, links arms with Neptune in the sign of Aries. You're going to pick up very subtly an insight about something you need to learn. It could be anything. It could be something in the arts. It could be learning how to build a really good fire in your wood stove. It could be learning how to make specialty soups. This does not have to be big, but it can be effective and important to you, particularly in the long run. Or on another more elevated level, you may decide to go back to school. So all of it's possible, because you've got now these planets, Aries, the planets are in Aries, and they're running through this 9th house of yours. So all bets are off. Your family will be just standing around with their mouths hanging open, because they'll wonder what happened to the old you. And then lastly, on Wednesday the 15th, Mercury will also join all those other planets in Aries. So your Mercury is all about intellect and communication. So you're going to be brimming with ideas that will be coming from left field for you. Some of it's based on your intuition. And because I said the full moon is in Libra, you'll have this desire to also share some of those newfound insights. So please let me know what's going on with you. This is a big time for fire sign people, because Aries is a fire sign, and Aries, excuse me, I think I'm allergic to the leaves that are starting to bloom. It's always something. Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius are all fire signs. And this powerful Aries energy that's moving through all the planets is going to impact particularly the fire signs, I think, in a really positive way. So I'm going to look at my mushroom cards here because they're so cute. And I want to see, and I'm going to take an oracle card for you, Leo. What is it, Hammy? Hamlet, you ate. Seriously. You can do it. Do you got a plan in mind? Is there something you've been hoping to accomplish? You can do it. Oh, I love it when that card comes up. What is it that you have up your sleeve? The Hierophant. Hey, someone's got their eye on you. Hierophant is the highest of the leadership positions available. Somebody on the top rung of your career is looking at you. The Moon. You've had your downs. You've had moments of exasperation and sadness. They know it. Ace of Pentacles. There's an opportunity here for a new job or a new way of earning money. Are these cards the kick? They're a little bit dark, but I like them. King of Wands. This is you, Leo, Sag, or Aries. So you're being asked to step up and take charge. Five of Swords, and possibly leaving breaking away from something you've been doing that hasn't benefited you to the full extent of your talent. The Tower, things are falling apart around you. So as things are falling apart, you're being offered another situation to step in. It's like you're leapfrogging. I don't see this as necessarily bad. 9 of Wands. Yeah, there's a war going on around you. And 8 of Cups. The emotional content, the emotional involvement is not, you don't necessarily have to put yourself in this, because it's like you've been offered something else and you can see the other thing falling down around its knees. But I think you need to keep your emotional self separate from the current situation that's evolving, because you already been offered something else. If that makes any sense. I hope. I think I see it. It's 2 separate stories. But this is at the center of it. You can do this. So, on that note, Leo, have a great week. Please like, share, and subscribe. And until later, we'll talk soon. Okay, Sagittarians, how are you? Listen, lots happening because, boy, oh boy, all those planets are moving or have moved into Aries, and it's your fellow fire sign. So let's take a look at and see what's happening with some of the major players here. So we've got the full moon in Libra, and it's in your 11th house. So your emotional life, the energy of your feelings and your worthiness, it's being impacted in some way by the groups of people that you spend time with. You may have people that are really invested in your ability, but for some reason, it's all getting you down. With the full moon in Libra at 12 degrees, squaring Jupiter at 12 degrees, there could be a little kerfuffle in that area. Maybe you're not performing the way people think you should, or maybe something you had hoped would happen, like a raise or a bonus, it's being held back because of financial conditions within the corporation. Keep that in mind. It's not your fault. On Friday the 3rd, Venus, the planet of love and beauty, will square Pluto in Aquarius. So Venus in Taurus before it moves into another sign. Oh, no, I'm sorry, because Venus has already moved into Taurus. So Venus in Taurus square Pluto in Aquarius. Where does that land in your chart? Well, it's your 3rd house is Aquarius. And Taurus is in your 6th. So you may find yourself exploding with vigor and acting out in the workplace because you can't stand something that's occurring. I beg you to find a gentler, kinder way to get your point across. Think about it. Because ultimately, it's for your benefit, for you to get it off your chest, but at the same time, it has to be done so that it doesn't smack you in the face. So that's the meaning of this particular transit with Venus squaring Pluto. On Wednesday the 8th, Mars in Pisces will dance madly and happily with Uranus and Taurus. What does that mean? Well, Mars will be in Pisces, and that will be in your 4th house around all your family. And then Uranus is in Taurus. And where does that fall in your chart? It's in your 6th house of work and health. So there's an opportunity through something you're doing, possibly in the workplace, that will benefit a family member or support them in some way. If you work in the health field, or you work in nutrition, or you work in a housing development project kind of way, you do work as a contractor, you might be able to help one of your family renovate or fix something in their home. So it could be very positive. On Thursday the 9th, Mars will move out of Pisces and into Aries. And for you, Sag, that is in your 5th house of romance, children, and love, and creativity. And Sag, for the next few weeks, all these planets are going to congregate. All the Aries planets are going to congregate in that really fun place in your chart called the 5th house. So it's possibility for dates, for renewing a situation. Let's say you've been in a long-term relationship. Maybe it's a time to go spend time with your partner in a more romantic setting. Children are blossoming, not blossoming, or opossuming. There's a potential here for really fun things to happen. There could be gatherings that you've been looking forward to. You could do some creative things. Painting, music, dancing, the arts. A lot of my Sag friends are writers. So I can think of 2 right now. Even Beethoven was a Sagittarius. Stephen King is a Sagittarius. So this is all happening, and it's very exciting. And then on the 13th, Mars and Aries will cuddle up next to Neptune. We call it conjuncting, but I call it cuddling. We'll cuddle up to Neptune in the same sign of Aries. And where does that fall? In that 5th house of love, romantic encounters, fun explorations of things, spending time with your kiddos. With Mars linking arms with Neptune, you may have a real deja vu or some kind of spiritual insight or an intuitive shot that says you need to do X, Y, or Z, and Mars will allow this to happen. It will push the envelope. So it could be really fun. You could meet somebody, and it could be a situation where you look at this person. That's my dog barking. You could look at this person and go, I really like you. I've known you before. Maybe we should have coffee. Wouldn't that be a kick? So that's coming up, and it's very exciting. And then on Wednesday the 15th, Mercury, the planet of communication, will also go into that same house of the 5th house. So you'll be able to communicate more successfully your concerns, your ideas, the things that matter to you. Hey, if there is somebody you've got a crush on, there may be an opportunity to tell that person that. Or if you have an idea and you want to see it come to blossom, maybe it's an idea to do something for the community, you'll be able to communicate that insight to people and maybe gets the ball rolling. So this is an interesting couple of weeks. I'm excited for you. And my God, it's in the 5th house. How lucky is that? So on that note, Sag, until next time, Take care and be well. Hello there. This is a reading for the Geminis out there. Let's just dive right in. And also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. This forecast is, as I said in the beginning, is going from April 1st to the 15th. Okay, you lovely Geminis, what's going on here? Well, there is a full moon in Libra, in your fellow air sign, in the 5th house of creativity, romance, and children. It's happening on the 1st, and it will resonate for a period of time. So it's not going away really fast. But it's also experiencing a square. So it's 12 degrees Libra moon squaring Cancer in Jupiter in Cancer. Now, Cancer for you, Gemini, is in your 2nd house of financial wellness. It's also your sense of involvement. It's also your sense of fulfillment. It's also, what you bring to the table. This particular moon will square that 5th house of fun, children, and love. Right now, you may feel like you don't have the time or energy to have any fun. And that will pass. But right now, it's a little bit difficult for you to jump in there and get excited about creativity, children, or anything, because there is a bit of a financial pressure on your shoulders. On the 3rd, Venus squares Pluto. Venus is in the sign of Taurus. And for you, that's in your 12th house. Very soulful, very deep, very subterranean. It's a feeling of your secrets and your life purpose. And it's squaring Pluto in Aquarius. And that is up in your 9th house. So there may be something that you want to do to expand your world, and you'll be feeling worried that you just don't have enough of what it takes to do that right now. But remember that this too shall pass, and this is a sense of worry, a little bit of doom and gloom surrounding this. You'd like to travel, you'd like to go. For a Gemini, traveling is essential. But you may feel like you can't do that right now. So just keep that in mind, that things will settle down. You will find your equilibrium. But right now you're feeling like things that you'd like to be doing, you can't be doing. On Wednesday the 8th, Mars will sextile Uranus. And Mars is in Pisces. It's up in your 10th house of career. And it will positively connect with Taurus. And that's in your 12th house. So there's something that you're meant to be doing that's going to show its face. It could be something that you've been planning to take part in. It may have something to do with your career. And it could be a very positive, dynamic, unusual hit to that career house in your career potential. On Thursday the 9th, I am pleased to announce that Mars will move into Aries. And Aries for you, dear Gemini, is in the 11th house of people who support you, of your dreams and wishes. In fact, over the next 2 weeks, everything will be in Aries. Many of the planets will have moved into the sign of Aries. So you can count on that energy being part of the main story. And Mars going into that sign pushes your dreams forward and into reality. On the 12th, Venus will sextile Jupiter, Venus in Taurus and Jupiter in Cancer. And that will be a very positive hit to your world and what you've been planning to do and what you've been intuiting and what you've been praying for to happen. On the 13th, Mars in Aries will join arms with Neptune in Aries in that 11th house of hopes and wishes and people who support your dreams and wishes. So you will intuit that something is about ready to happen, that you've been planning on, that you've been hoping for. And then on the 15th, Mercury will move into the sign of Aries, also in that 11th house, which is, as I said before, is all about the community you work in, the organization that you're connected to, your dreams, wishes, and people that support you. So, you'll be able to communicate some of your ideas to those people. Gemini, there is a plan in the works. You are ready to grab the brass ring and go with it. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. I'd like to know what happens. Please drop me a line at cottagetarot.com. Let's take a look at your oracle cards and see what's happening here. Gemini, 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 Gemini. Spiritual law of attraction, manifest. If you can see it, you can make it happen. So let's get going on that. Imagine it done. Imagine that this is where you are. Imagine this is the next step in your evolution. I had this happen to me. I saw an apartment years ago that I saw it in my mind's eye. I kept seeing it. I had nowhere to move to. It was during a very tight housing market. And I found this apartment, and it was a friend of mine called up and said, "Are you interested in an apartment?" And I said, "Absolutely." So if you can see it, you can manifest it. Okay, Gemini. So spiritual law of attraction, Melchizedek. The sun. Luck is on your side, Gemini. The sun is the best card in the entire tarot deck. It's lucky, it's abundant. Four of Wands is enormously powerful and very much about action. You may feel like you're not moving forward, but you will be with that. Tower. Things may be a little bit wobbly around you. But the Three of Wands allows you to see where your assets lie, to see what you need to be doing next. Things might be put on hold for a while, the Hangman. But there's definitely a transition coming, possibly a move. Okay, Gemini, listen, hang in there. There's more to come. This forecast goes till the 15th. Check in around the 16th, 17th, and I will have another report up for you. Take care and be well. Hello, Libra. This reading is really impactful because we're dealing with your opposite sign of Aries. So let's get going here. On the 1st, there's a full moon in Libra at 12 degrees. This is sitting right on your ascendant, sun, moon, or rising. It's impacting you directly. It is all about you and coming to a closing chapter or ending a project you've been working on and moving on to something bigger and more bodacious. On the same period, we have the full moon in Libra squaring squaring Jupiter in Cancer at 12 degrees. This is a 1-2 punch. So for instance, in your case, Cancer, if we're looking at this as a chart that's been set up around you having Libra in the first house, you have Cancer in your career area. So you may feel that there's something shaky occurring in your career at this point. Listen, this is a full moon. This is a culminating moon, means something you've been doing possibly in your career area is unsettled and maybe closing up. Doesn't mean your career is ending, but it does mean something has shifted in a big way. So keep that in mind and know that these moons dissipate after about a week or so. So just hang in there. On the 3rd, Venus will square Pluto. Venus in Taurus, I'm looking for it here in your chart, in the 8th house of transition, will square, again, another, squares are often antagonistic or a little bit argumentative, will square Pluto in Aquarius in the 5th house. So there may be something happening as well in your romantic life or with one of your children that feels unstable. So check that out. Don't go off the deep end, but make sure that you're aware of what is occurring, whether it's in your romantic life, your one of your children's lives, or it could have something to do with your creative actions. Maybe you worked on a project and you didn't finish it completely and you're not even aware it's not finished. So check those areas out. On Wednesday, the 8th, we have Mars in Pisces, which is really beautiful. And then that's in the 12th house of your spiritual and deep-seated feelings about life. Making a very happy sextile to Uranus in Taurus. And for you, that's in your 8th house. So there may be a transition occurring that is driven by a deep-seated need to do something you've been planning to do for many years. So that could be a very positive shift. On Thursday, the 9th, Mars will move into Aries. And for you, Libra, that is up in the 7th house of long-term relationships and partnerships, whether they're romantic or personal. With Mars sitting there, it's all about discussions and actions and things occurring within the partnership. There's more to come. On the 13th, and there are so many aspects here, it would be too much to list them all, but on the 13th, Mars in Aries will conjunct Neptune in Aries. So something that you're picking up in your partnership or partnerships, because it could be business and personal, you'll be able to act on the impulse. You'll be able to take action. You may have wondered if your partner was unwell or worried or not interested or very interested. Maybe you've decided, he's or she has decided they want to solidify a long time involvement with you. Maybe a marriage contract, maybe something else. Maybe they want to have a baby. I don't know. But it's really a very, very poignant period. And then to cap it all off, on Wednesday the 15th, Mercury, planet of communication, will also move into Aries. And it will be in that 7th house of love, romance, partnership, long-term partnerships. So, communicating, talking, working things out, planning a wedding, planning a business, planning a grand opening. It could be any number of things. So Libra, keep that in mind. Let's take a look at the oracle cards and see which one wants to jump out here. I like to include these because they give a different piece of information, definitely. Open your heart to love. It's so juicy. It's so wonderful. Okay, open your heart to love. What do we have here? You may feel like you're in the desert. You may feel like there's nobody there for you, but this card says there is. There's support, there's love, there's caring, there's even financial aid if you need it. The Hermit means you need to reflect on the good things around you, or even the bad things, but it's a time of reflection. Ten of Pentacles talks about the possibility of financial support coming your way. It means a raise, a bonus. As one of the astrologers I listen to all the time talks about chunky money. Very cool. And it's the lottery card. Now, I'm not saying go out and play the lottery, but there's an opportunity here for luck to be on your side as it relates to your financial situation and your ability to grow your money. So you've been worried. Four of Coins, Four of Pentacles. You've been feeling like there's not enough. Change that mantra. Keep saying to yourself, there's enough, there's a lot, I deserve all the good things in life, and bring it into you. Pull it in. The High Priestess says use your intuition and don't take no for an answer. Chariot talks about moving in a new direction. So this is exciting. This is dynamic. You are ready to make a change, and good things are available to you. It's time to bring love into your life if you already haven't. Take care, Libra, and until next time, be well. Aquarius, oh my goodness, the world is ready to hear from you. Let's talk. Okay. So on Wednesday the 1st, the full moon in Libra is cruising through your chart because it's one of your fellow air signs. You're comfortable with it. And it's in your 9th house of mind-altering expansion, new ideas, new learning, travel. There is a glitch. There's the full moon in Libra squares Jupiter in Cancer. And where is Cancer? But in the area of work. So you're ready to expand beyond the work world, the regular work world. And in some ways, your health demands attention as well. You may be, it doesn't have to be dynamic. It could be simply that you've overdone it. But you're ready to leap on something. You're ready to learn something. You might be ready to get in the car and drive, or start a new program or whatever. And this square to the moon in Libra is saying, whoa, Nelly, not right now. It's time to slow it down a little bit. So that's what's happening for the next week or so. Because this full moon is a culmination of something you've been doing, learning, expanding into. And now it's time to process it and move into the next stage of it. On the 3rd, Venus in Taurus, in your fourth house, will square Pluto in Aquarius in your 1st. There's something happening in the family that doesn't mix well with what you know to be important, good, right. So you will have to be addressing that. Could be a relative that's acting out, but you'll be brought up to, I'm looking for the right words. You'll be asked to step in and do something about a situation that relates to home and family. On the 8th, Mars will sextile merrily, I might add, Mars in Pisces, sextiling Uranus in Taurus. And that will be in your 2nd house of money and your 4th house of home and family. So there's something really quirky happening in the family that could allow you to earn some money. You could either inherit something, gain some money, be supported with something through the family, it's either through the matriarch, but there's something that's going to be a very positive, a very positive outcome or a situation that will support you. It could be an inheritance. I don't want to make you sad, but there could be inheritance, or there could be a situation where you earn tax revenue from something that relates to the home. But whatever it is, it will have a positive impact on your finances. Okay. On the 13th, Mars will conjunct Neptune in Aries. Both planets in Aries and in your 3rd house. I keep talking about houses like everybody understands this, but that area is about getting your ideas placed proficiently into the circle that you need it to go. So for instance, if you are a writer, you will be publishing a book. If you are giving a lecture, people will show up to attend your lecture. It's a fantastic time, and you're pulling some of your information from your intuitive world. It could be through art, music, dance, writing. So look forward to that. And if that's not enough, Mercury jumps into Aries on Wednesday the 15th. This is dynamic. So it's, again, an allowance for you to communicate your ideas. It's what you're here for. It's a chance opportunity to share personal insights about a situation or situations that you think are important. And some of it is tied into your dream world, your intuitive world, your psychic understandings. So keep that in mind. And on that note, let's jump into the oracle cards and see what's happening there. Okay, let's see what Aquarius needs to hear right now. Okay. Crystals. So everything you do has to have an organic source. You have to be coming from a place of authenticity, but also you have to be turning all your ideas around and looking at them from different angles. Look at every situation that you're confused by turning them around and questioning how this will work or that will work if I do X, Y, or Z. That's the period of time you're in right now. there's a little bit of a mystery about how to make things actually work for you. There is a new beginning for you, the Fool. Let's see where this comes from. King of Wands, Sag, Leo, or Aries. This is a personality that you need to exude, dynamic, fiery, positive. But it's also somebody who could be coming into your life and offering you an opportunity. 7 of Pentacles, a new project, a new business. You'll be learning some new skills because of this new project. 3 of Pentacles. Maybe taking a course, learning something that way. Use your mind and your intellectual acumen and let the emotions sit on the sideline a little bit. There is a partnership blooming, and it could affect your romantic partnership as well. 2 of Cups. There's a message coming through. Page of Wands. And lastly, there's a rebirth, death, and a new business or a new job. Aquarius, you could be offered a job that you've done before. Something, think back into something you were involved with, and that could be offered up to you at this time. Okay, Aquarius, like, share, and subscribe. I enjoy reading for you, and I look forward to seeing you again after the 15th. Be well and take care. Hello there. Now, let's jump into the next. Where did I put everything here? I think, like, all my paperwork moves around on me. Oh, yeah. Okay, theories. And there is wandering around paperland. That's what I call it. Okay, Cancers, you're up to bat. Let's look at what's going on in your life. Well, the full moon in Libra is square to your sun. It's not necessarily all warm and fuzzy, and that's my dog barking. But hopefully he'll settle down. But with the full moon in Libra, it's in your 4th house of everything and anything to do with home, family, and the matriarchy. Now, there's also a square to Jupiter in Cancer, and which is in your 1st house. So you may feel that home and hearth are not necessarily copacetic. For Cancers, that's generally their sanctuary, but right now it may be a little bit askew. We don't have to live through this for months, but for the next few days, expect everything that relates to family members to be a little wonky. That's all I can say. I mean, that's the best way of describing what will be going on with family. You know, you may find that, you know, somebody, Aunt Martha has a drinking problem, or so-and-so lost a tire on their car, and they want you to fix it as if you knew how. So there's stuff like that happening. Don't get caught up in it. Try to go with the flow. Now, on the 3rd, Venus will square Pluto. Yippee! And Venus is at that point in Taurus, which is really great for Cancers. Venus will be in your 11th house of large groups and all the things you dream about doing. Like, do you have things you want to fix up in your house? I do. I need a new vacuum. You know, things like that. Will square Pluto in Aquarius in the 8th. So you may have your desires, but because you're going through transitions, or other people are going through a transitional period, you may not be able to pull off the things that you were hoping to within that organization or within your life. until things settle down a little bit. So, transition is occurring, and you are the proud recipient of whatever comes your way. So again, don't get attached to outcomes too much right now. It's better to stay grounded and focused on things that you like to do versus accomplish. On the 8th, Mars in Pisces will link arms with Uranus in Taurus and create a sextile, which is happy, happy. And Mars in Pisces is in your 9th house of travel, learning, having a chance to explore your community. Okay, great, nifty. It will sextile Uranus in Taurus. And Taurus is in that 11th house. So there may be an opportunity for you to go to a workshop because your job is offering it. Take a trip to a different location through your work or through a group that you support. Or you may just have an opportunity, I bumped the camera, I'm sorry. Or you may just have an opportunity to do some traveling because you want to. So that's a good thing. Okay. Now, on the 9th, Mars will go into Aries. And Aries for Cancer is in your 10th house of your grand and glorious career. Yay. Then Mars will conjunct Neptune, both in the sign of Aries on the 13th. In your career, you're going to pick up something intuitively that's going on that will help you develop your career further. So it's really great. And then on the 15th, Mercury will go into Aries in that career area again. So you'll have a chance to either communicate a concept to either your boss or to some employees, or they will communicate something to you that would allow you to move up the ladder or do something different with your career. So for you, Cancer, even though some of the other planets and aspects in your chart are a little bit emotionally rocky, what will be getting the positive hit is that area of your chart that relates to your wonderful career, whatever that is. And there will be a few moments when the full moon in Libra will oppose that, but it won't last for the entire period. And at least toward the end of this forecast, which is through to the 15th, there will be a chance where your career interests will be highlighted. So keep that in mind. Okay, Cancer, let's take a look at what's happening with you in the oracle cards. I'm going to pull one. So this is for Cancer, Cancer, Cancer. Fertility. Now, don't panic. Fertility can mean pregnancy, oh yes, but it can also mean pregnancy of thought, pregnancy of creativity. So what are you making right now that could grow? It could be anything. Baked goods, start your own business, a swimming pool company. I mean, what is it that you could pull out of nowhere? Fertility, what does Cancer need to know? Okay, so things have not necessarily been fun and games. You've had your heart broken. You've maybe been rejected a lot, particularly in career aspirations. It's not been fertile territory. You've had a lot of anxiety around this thing. But now there's an opportunity to reclaim your position. This is the blessing card. This is the new beginning card. This is also a card that relates to possibly somebody coming into your life that you could have warm and loving feelings for. This person could be a higher up with an authoritative position. This person could also be an individual that is interested in your talents and knows about you. You've got your ducks in a row. 9 of, this is the chakra pendant. This is also the chakra set of wands. 9 of wands. Knight of Cups is news coming in. Somebody bringing you a very sweet message. And it could mean an increase financially. Not lottery increase, but an increase in your pay, a bonus, a new position that brings in extra money. It could be very positive. So, Cancer, keep the eye on the prize, stay grounded, and enjoy this week. And drop me a line at cottagetarot.com. I'd love to hear from you. Take care. Scorpio, how are you? Let's talk shop. On Wednesday the 1st, which is today, there's a full moon in Libra. And for you, that's your 12th house of past lives, if you believe in them. Or it could be your childhood. I often think it is. It could be your spirituality. It could be your desire to create something and put it out to the world. It could be your inner secrets. Well, that's emphasized today, but it also squares to Jupiter in Cancer in the 9th house. So there could be an opportunity for you to go someplace, expand yourself, maybe go back to school, etc. But there's something holding you back. It's maybe your worry about your abilities. It could be that you don't think you're good enough at something, again, worrying about your abilities. It could be your feeling like that's not what you're here to provide the world. Any number of things that make you feel compromised. This will only last a little while, so, go with the flow. On Friday the 3rd, Venus will square Pluto. Venus in Taurus in the 7th house. It's your opposite sign of partnerships and all types of partnerships. And it will square Pluto in Aquarius in the 4th house. So there could be a push-pull between your long-term partner and your family. It could be the family members do not like the new boyfriend or husband or the new business partner. So keep that in mind. This too shall pass. On the 8th, Mars will sextile Uranus. So Uranus is in Taurus in that 7th house of long-term partnerships, giving you very creative, outside-the-box thinking as it relates to your long-term partnership. And it will sextile Mars in the 5th house. So I feel like it's a desire to make the long-term partnership more fun. That's one thing. Or let's say you're in a business partnership. Through that partnership, you can meet a romantic partner. Or it's a situation that could help one of your children grow in their career. So there's a lot happening here, and it could be very, very positive as it relates to your relationships or your creative life. On the 9th, Mars will trip into Aries. Mars, the planet of action. And it is a dynamic ruler of Aries. On the 12th, and that, oh, by the way, that is in your 6th house of health and the work you do, physical work you do in the world, or where you work, or how you work. So we're going to have all the Aries planets, the sign, all the planets that are in Aries marching through that 6th house. It relates to the work a day world and your well-being. Are you taking enough care of your body? Because Aries is going to make sure you do. Mars on the 13th will conjunct Neptune. Mars in Aries will conjunct Neptune in Aries. Mars will tell the intuitive energy of Neptune that is also in Aries, this is what we will do to help you. And Neptune will have the insight, the intuition, the know-how. So somehow or other, if this relates to your body, your physicality, or even what's going on in the workplace, your intuition will be supported by this period of time. So it's a good time to follow your hunches. And then on the 15th, Mercury will move into Aries in the same place, in the 6th house. Communicate, talk, share your ideas, call up a friend. Say, do you know where to get a standing desk? Do you know where I could get a job doing X, Y, or Z? Do you know a good place to do reformer Pilates? Whatever it is, communicate and talk about what you're experiencing intuitively. So that's the story for this week up until the 15th. This report is not exhaustive. It is simply giving you the big transits. There's more on the flip side. Next week, it's even more dynamic. So tune in around the 16th, 17th. I'll give you another Kapow report. Okay, let's take a look at the oracle cards for Scorpio. Scorpio, 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 Scorpio. What do you need to hear? Open your heart to love. Oh my God. I love this card. It's a good time for this. Okay. What does Scorpio need to hear? Scorpio, 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 Scorpio. Number 1. Oh, it's the love card. Oh, it's 2 people coming together in an important partnership. It makes tears come to my eyes. You've been fighting a good fight all by yourself. This is a good time to open up your heart. Wheel of Fortune. You're moving into the next chapter of your development. 6 of Pentacles. Money is coming to you. Doesn't mean you're not spending it, but money is coming to you. You have your ducks in order. 9 of Wands. You notice that all of these have colors on the tips. It's the chakras. So that's why that's there. I have a chakra pendant on, so I have the chakras on the back and then the wheel. Oh, this is too beautiful. The Ace of Cups, the cup overflow with love. This is a period of time where you get to share some of your feelings with somebody that you care about or didn't even know you cared about. Queen of Swords, stand up for yourself. Declare what you feel. Be a little bit airy-fairy about things. This is the Libra, Aquarius, or Gemini energy, and she's in charge. Or non-gender specific. It could be, any gender. But the energy here is taking charge of the moment. Don't let it escape you. You're needlessly worrying. You're enough. You're cute. You're okay. This is the 8 of Swords. It's the The worry card, it's illusion. Turn your mind off at night and go to sleep. Tell your mind, listen, I'm allowed to worry from 8 in the morning till noon, and then that's enough. Nighttime is for sleeping. See if that works. And then 7 of Pentacles is a new project. So this is exciting. Don't worry about it. Just do it. Plant the seeds for a new start. Okay, Scorpio, this looks like an exciting week. Drop a line, cottagetarot.com, and let me know how you're doing. And please spread the word. Pisces, oh, there's so much happening right now. We can barely keep track of it all. And you're so sensitive. And you're one of the best, sweetest water signs. So let's talk about you. So on the 1st, the full moon is in Libra. That's in your 8th house. So you're feeling change. You're feeling like transition is in the air. And on top of it, there's a full moon squaring Jupiter in Cancer. Your fellow water sign Cancer. But Libra moon is squaring it. And for you, that's hitting your 5th house. So there may be a person you really have your heart set on knowing, and or a creative project you've been trying to develop, and this energy right now is keeping the two of you apart, or keeping the project away from you, or maybe you didn't get the grant that you wanted, or you thought you didn't get the grant. You know what? Just hang on. This too shall pass. This energy, give this about a week, and this new moon energy will dissipate. It's not all going to happen overnight. Whatever this thing is that you're worried about, it'll get better as we go along. On the 3rd, Venus in Taurus, I'm looking to see where it is in your chart, in your 3rd house, will square Pluto in Aquarius. And Aquarius is in your 12th house. So whatever happened in your childhood, or what happened in a past life, you may have been told you're not allowed to speak your mind. You're going to feel cut off from people when you try to communicate your ideas. Don't let that stop you. Give it a day and go back at it. Maybe communication verbally is not the answer. Maybe writing it down is better. Keep that in mind. On Wednesday the 8th, Mars will link arms and dance gaily with Uranus and Taurus. So Mars will be in Pisces, and your sign, and then it will sextile Uranus in Taurus in the 3rd house. So there's where the opportunity to express your newfound concept will have a chance to be heard. Don't give up. Try it again. And I would suggest trying to express yourself on the 8th. If you're asking for a raise, or you're asking for a new project to be started, or you have a new strategy, go at it again on the 8th. On Thursday the 9th, Mars moves in to Aries. And for the next 2 weeks, everything will be in that area of your chart where Aries sits. It's the money house, the 2nd house. It's your worth, how much you think you're worth, how much you produce, your sense of productivity. And it's how you bring money into your world. It's how you manage it. It's how you give it out. So Mars, planet of action, moves into that 2nd house. So there's a lot of activity around finance for you. On the 13th, Mars will conjunct Neptune. So you're going to have some intuitive hits that relate to money. You're going to think, oh, I know where I have that savings account. Oh, I know what I can do. I can put off paying that for 2 days and pay this thing over here. Or I could make money selling cookies. Whatever it is, you're going to get an intuitive flash, and it's going to be worth following. And then on the 15th, Mercury, we're going back to this idea of expressing yourself. Mercury will move into Aries as well, in that second house where money issues sit. And this is where you communicate your new concepts, share your ideas, talk to your partners, talk to the people that can give you a raise. Whatever it is, it's communicate, communicate, communicate. And you're going to be doing it with Aries energy. In other words, in Aries, when they talk to you, they don't mince words. They come up to you, they look you in the eye, and they say, excuse me, I work hard here, I want a raise. It's very direct, it's very demanding, it's very powerful. And in your case, Pisces, it's high time that you use some of those skills, because you're very, very subtle in your expression. And depending on what else is in your chart, it may not be that subtle, but Pisces has a tendency to beat around the bush when it comes to asking for what they need. So just keep that in mind. So Pisces, let's look at the oracle cards and see what's going on. Energy healing. Ooh, this is good. There's all forms of energy healing. I'm going to leave that to you. You can research it if you need it or want it, or it relates to you. I suggest you put some energy into understanding it. My favorite form of energy healing is walking on the beach or having my feet rubbed. Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. Energy healing. Okay, let's look and see what that means. So someone has their eye on you. They like what they see. They like how you act. You seem like a fun person to them, and you don't even notice them. Not one iota. They are like standing there waving flags, and you are simply thinking about something else. Money, 6 of Pentacles. Money is starting to come in, but you may have to spend it to make up for what you haven't been getting. Queen of Cups, this is you, non-gender specific. This is you needing to understand that you are worth more than you allow yourself to know. And you're a giving, kind-hearted person. Wheel of Fortune, moving in to the next stage of your life, doing something really important that you need to be doing. This is a message coming through, Page of Cups, a positive message, and it feels like it may have something to do with money. Death is a rebirth, dropping the old mantle and moving into something better. 2 of Wands. 2 of Wands, talking to somebody, communicating with somebody, sharing your ideas, getting some support. Could be counseling. It could be with a friend. Whoops, I knocked that camera again. Talking to a friend, going to a group and sharing your ideas. All the, the 12-step programs are great for that. But there's also other kinds of groups that deal with grief and healing and blah, blah, blah. So just look into that. Moving into a better, more peaceful period of time. 6 of Swords. Yay. Okay, Pisces, I'm excited for you. Please keep me in the loop. Like, share, and subscribe. And I promise next time not to wiggle the camera so much. Take care. Be well. Taurus, how are you? I hope you're well. Listen, there's a lot happening right now, so we're going to dive right in. And know that if I don't touch on all the points that you want to cover, you can always come and get information from me at cottagetarot.com. I do readings. I I am glad to take on new clients. I am interested in sharing information with you, and I love to hear your perspectives. So cottagetarot.com. Okay. New moon, full moon, actually, in Libra. Now, this is interesting for Tauruses because Taurus's ruler is Venus. Libra's ruler is Venus. And Libra is in the full moon in your 6th house of work and health. Okay, goody. What does that mean? It means that everything and anything to do with your big, beautiful body and your wonderful work world is being highlighted by this moon, which will last at least a few days into the week. Okay. Then the other thing that's happening simultaneously is there's a square of that moon to Jupiter in Cancer. Now, Taurus likes Cancer, but this full moon in Libra is an antagonistic energy. And where does that land in your chart but your 3rd house? So I would say that if you're going to share an idea in the workplace, be careful about what you say over the next few days, because you could stick your foot in your mouth and it could be very embarrassing. So just keep that in mind. On the 3rd, Venus is in Taurus. Yay. And it will square Pluto. Not so great. Pluto in Aquarius, because it's in your 10th house. So again, there could be a conflict between you, what you believe, your identity, and something going on in the career. Maybe you don't agree with the boss's politics. Maybe you don't like the boss. Maybe you are the boss. Maybe you don't like the way you're being treated. Whatever it is, I'm forewarned is forearmed. Okay? That's all I'm saying. Be kind. And I like this little saying. Is it kind? Is it good? Is it necessary? That goes a long way. Okay. On the 8th, Mars will join forces and do what we call sextile Uranus and Taurus. That's really cool. Mars will be in Pisces. That will be in your 11th house. And Taurus, of course, is in your 1st. You could get support, understanding, and approval from people that you work with or who have positions of authority. Also, a dream that you've long held could come true. So keep that in mind. On the 9th, which is Thursday, Mars will move into Aries. That is your house of secrets, spirituality, and your life path. Mars is there. Mars is action, ACTION. We used to chant that at football games. I was never big on pep rallies, but I do remember that. Mars is the just do it planet. So something you've dreamed of doing, having, being, could finally come to fruition. On Monday the 13th, Mars will conjunct Neptune. Mars and Aries will conjunct Neptune. Something you are intuiting, picking up spiritually, picking up through dreams, daydreams, that has something to do with your purpose on this planet, has to do with your desire that you've held in your heart for a long time. When I see this, I often think it's somebody interested in a spiritual order, or maybe they want to develop intuitive gifts. or maybe they want to be part of a spiritual community. This is being given support through this Mars energy, which is all about action. And then on the 15th, Mercury is in Aries, or goes into Aries, in that same 12th house. Very subtle, very intuitive, very spiritual. But now you start to communicate what you're feeling to the world. You know, I believe in the power of goodness. I believe in nature. I believe in organic farming. It could be thousands of things. Do not get caught up in the details. Remember that this energy is flowing through that area of your chart. Okay, Taurus, let's take a look at the Oracle cards and see which one wants to pop out here for you. Let it go. Something's not working. Just let it go. If its purpose has finally come to a full circle, maybe it's a job. It's time to let it move on. Whoop, boy, I'm dropping cards. Too many to single them out. Okay, Taurus, let's try this again. King of Swords, stand your ground. Knight of Pentacles, this is financial news. You may have, because it's the Tower, you may be having some problems with one of your bank accounts, or maybe a source of income has dried up. You've been carrying a heavy load on your shoulders, 10 of Wands, and you are doing a balancing act between two different projects, but the doors are opening. So my take on this is that it's possible there's a job you've been working at that has outlived its purpose. There are opportunities that you have been investigating, and there are opportunities that can arrive in the nick of time, because there's news here about money, a financial offer of some sort, and it could be dynamic. King of Wands. It could be brought to you by a person, Sag, Leo, or Aries energy, very outgoing, very much in charge, could be a business person. And there could be a celebration, happiness, a reward involved in this situation. So with the purpose of this is to let go of something that's outlasted its purpose. Let's see what happens next. Okay, Taurus, thank you. Like, share, and subscribe, please. If you share this channel, then I can do even more than I am doing right now. So thank you. Okay, let's see, Virgo. You're one of my favorite signs. What's going on with you? Well, full moon in Libra on the 1st, along with that full moon squaring Jupiter. So let's talk about that for a second. So full moon in Libra falls in your second house of productivity, what you think you're worth, what you think is important. And it's squaring Jupiter. And that's in your 11th house. So you may feel that what you care about, nobody else cares about. You may feel like you're just a pawn. Maybe you feel like higher-ups don't appreciate what you're doing for them. Or there's a group of people that don't appreciate what you bring to the table. Listen, if you're doing this thing to get approval from anybody right now, it's a fool's errand. It's very difficult right now in the circles that we all travel in for anybody to pick their head up long enough to notice that you are something else. I'm telling you, this energy will pass over the next 4 to 5 days, but in the meantime, find other ways to feel good about yourself. That's a terrible way to go through life right now. I understand it completely, but this is what's happening. And that's how you're being impacted by this moon. On the 3rd, Venus in Taurus will square Pluto in Aquarius. And Aquarius is in your 6th house of health and work. And Taurus is up in the 9th. So you may be feeling like you took time off from work to travel, or you want to travel and you really don't want to work, or you don't want to be working at anything. You just want to go trip the light fantastic. And that's what's happening right now. That's what you're feeling. That's the energy. On Wednesday, the 8th, Mars in Pisces will have everything and anything to do with your long-term partnerships. Will sextile Uranus, in the 9th house. So there could be the possibility that a long-term partner is willing to travel with you, or willing to expand your world by sending you to school, or the two of you might decide you want to go visit something really interesting and explore it, whether it's a museum or a castle. So that's really neat, and that's the energy on the 8th. On the 9th, Mars moves into the sign of Aries. And that's where you really start to feel like there's some kind of transition occurring, and you can't really put your finger on it, but something has shifted amazingly. On the 13th, Mars in Aries will conjunct Neptune in Aries. And that's where your intuition jumps in, because that's where you will figure out what this transitional energy is all about. What is happening? What has just occurred? Are you being asked by the universe to move? Are you ready to enter a new relationship? Have you decided to change careers? What is the transition about, and what do you need to do next? On that's the 13th. On the 15th, Mercury will move into Aries in that same area of transition, life change, taxes, deaths, inheritances, your sexuality. That's the transition house. That's the 8th house. And you will start being able to communicate that to friends and people willing to listen. Maybe you'll communicate it by writing about it, or giving a talk, TED Talk, possibly. So that's coming up. So that's the week from the 1st to the 15th. I look forward to hearing about what's going on with you. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And now let's take a look at the oracle cards. Virgo, Virgo, Virgo. Persistence. Push. There, I did it again. I knocked the camera. Persistence. This is what you're all about right now. Don't give up. You have a chance to make some changes in your life. You see where your assets lie. 3 of Wands. There's a new beginning. Possibly somebody has a crush on you, or you're falling in love. Temperance. You're healing. whatever you're doing right now is really good for your body. 9 of Wands. You've got your ducks in a row. You're a person who has it all put together. Take charge of your situation. Queen of Wands, fire sign, Sag, Leo, or Aries energy. An old friend steps into your life and wants to hang out with you. 6 of Cups. And that old friend might have risen in prominence, the Hierophant. And that person is also creative, the Empress. And they're coming forward with an offer of love. Let's see what happens. It could be an offer of friendship or just an offer. Virgo, stay tuned. Come back at the end of this forecast around the 16th, 17th, and I'll have a new video up for you. Take care. Capricorn, you are last but not least. So let's plow right in. On Wednesday the 1st, the full moon is in Libra. It hits where? Your career house, your great and glorious career, or the work you do in the world. And it's a full moon. So there's a culmination to a project you've been working on, or an end of some kind of struggle. Because the full moon squares Jupiter. The full moon squares Jupiter in Cancer. And that's been a business partnership, a long-term partnership. There's been a push-pull situation occurring. It's been driving you bonkers. And there's some ending to this uncomfortable situation. On Friday the 3rd, Venus is in the sign of Taurus, and it squares Pluto in Aquarius. Pluto in Aquarius is in the 2nd house of finance. And Taurus, in this case, is in your 5th house of fun, romance, children. And there may be a worry that some fun little thing that you were trying to pull off might be slightly compromised by the current set of situations that you're experiencing. You know, maybe you don't have the money that you thought you were going to have to do X, Y, or Z. But hang on, there's more to come, because remember, these transits don't last forever. On Wednesday the 8th, Mars in Pisces will link arms happily with Uranus in Taurus. So Mars in Pisces will be in your, 3rd house of communication, and Uranus will be in your 5th house of love, creativity, having fun. So this is a good time to share an idea, communication with somebody you care about, or share it with a person that's possibly renting you something or providing you an opportunity to go have some fun doing X, Y, or Z. So you can share your idea with them and they'll be amenable to whatever that is. Maybe it's splitting costs or whatever. I told you to wait for a second, because there will be an opportunity to do something if you don't quite have enough money to pull something off. On the 9th, Mars moves into Aries. And Aries is in your 4th house. So over the next 2 weeks, everything focuses on the family, the home, and everything that revolves around the matriarchy. Mother. Okay. So on Sunday the 12th, Venus will sextile Jupiter. and Venus will be in that 5th house again, and it will sextile Cancer in the 7th. So there's something coming from the partner or a business partner that helps you find an outlet, have fun, be creative, do things with your children, whatever. So I do think that whatever is holding up the works and maybe not looking so fruitful will ultimately allow you to get creative. Go do that fun thing, maybe travel. Okay. So on the 13th, Mars will be in Aries, and so will Neptune. And that's in the 4th house of home, family, and mother. You will pick up something intuitively that will help make a situation in that area of your chart work out well for you. Don't know what it is exactly, but it's going to be something that you've intuited or you've figured out that will help make whatever's happening in the home place better for everyone. On Wednesday the 15th, Mercury will move into Aries, that same place, home and family. But this time you'll be able to communicate what you're picking up intuitively. You'll be able to settle everyone down. It might be a situation, because I do know about these things, and I have friends who are going through certain things right now. It could be that you've remembered where a safe deposit key is, or you've remembered what was said at a certain time, or you've talked to somebody in the family and they remember X, Y, or Z. But whatever it is, you will be given an opportunity to communicate this newfound insight to the family. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Capricorn, I look forward to hearing from you. Contact me through cottagetarot.com. Okay, let's take a look at your oracle cards and see what's going on. Capricorn, 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 Capricorn. Cap, 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 cap. Retreat into nature. Oh my God. If ever was a time for Capricorns to get out and experience Mother Nature, it's now. It'll be very good for you. And Capricorn, sun, moon, or rising. It doesn't matter. You love your gardens. King of Cups. Non-gender specific. This is a gentle, caring creature who is in your life. Cancer, Pisces, or Scorpio. They may have had a little bit of a rough patch. They're feeling like things are not working out to their highest potential. Maybe they feel a little bit depressed. But remind that person, if it's not you, that there's 2 cups. There are 2 cups standing. There are lots of opportunities for positive change and emotional upliftment, uplifting moments. King of Wands, Sag, Leo, or Aries personality. This is a person who's there to support you in some very important endeavor. 9 of Pentacles. This is about an increase in your financial wellness and you feeling more contentment. There's an offer of money, news about money, yay. A new project, 7 of Pentacles. You're not that thrilled with it. 3 of Swords. There is the Lover's card. There's a commitment or something that you're being asked to make, or a long-term relationship that somebody wants to be in with you. You have some anxiety over it. you can't lose sleep over this situation. Things are not like they should be. The Tower. You need to stand your ground. Queen of Swords. It doesn't matter who you are out there. This is the energy. Powerful, directed individual using their intellectual acumen and possibly support from a friend as well. Six of Cups. And this person really cares about you. Two of Cups. So, moving forward, there are going to be moments when you feel like you don't quite understand what's going on. And then there will be a shift in the tide, and you'll regroup and move forward again. It's like 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 2 steps. It's a little bit of a crab walk. The Capricorn, don't give up. Things are going to work out. There will be news about money. There will be this person, whoever this is that cares about you, is a very grounded individual. A lot of Taurian, Virgo, or Capricorn energy themselves. Plus, there's possibility of a raise. Okay, and until next time, Capricorn, if you feel so inclined, like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget, if you want to reach out, cottagetarot.com is the place to go. Thank you. Take care and be well.